Republicans are really trying to find themselves again. And one thing about Republicans is that they are as hypocritical as you can get. Now, I know that on this show I attack the corporate Democrats all the time, and for anyone who doesn't know, a corporate Democrat is someone who sides with businesses, someone who sides with the phone company that's your carrier, someone who sides with Wall Street, like the big banks and people that share stocks or that sell stocks and all of that. And they include other companies like your phone carrier. And so Republicans are also that way. And one thing that they really are really good at is saying that they care about you, because they really don't. And now I know that there are some right wingers who are crazy. Actually, all of you are. And so here's the thing. Republicans are going to now go back to being all deficit hawks. And what do I mean by a deficit hawk? I know that there are some people who are not very political, and maybe you just watched the video to support me, and I appreciate you. And by the way, like, comment, share, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And thank you to those who have, and thank you for all the views. But, okay, so, there are people who don't know what I mean by corporate Democrat or a technocratic hack or a neoliberal or a neoconservative or any of those words. And they also don't know what deficit hawk is. A deficit hawk is someone who cares so much about the debt. They care so much that they limit the amount of money that they spend. So think about a credit card that you have, and it's a $2,000 credit card, and you now owe that credit company about $1,500 because you spent $500 on a nice chair or whatever, if you wanted to go that crazy, or a fridge or whatever you did. Well, the problem is that you owe. So let's say that you run out of the laundry detergent, you run out of food for your house, and you run out of cleaning supplies. And you say, I'm sorry, I can't buy any of that anymore because we're pretty much in debt. So now I'm not going to buy you any of that. Well, here's the problem that you face. Now you're going to starve. Now you're not going to be able to clean your clothes. You're not going to be able to clean your house, and you're not going to, all of that, right? So Republicans are headed that direction. And the reason why, here's the reason why they do it. The reason why is because a Democrat is in office. I'm not kidding you. That's the only reason why. So because the Democrats in office, they're saying, well, we need obviously to be different than the Democrats. And what does a Democrat do when they want to come into power? Now, typically they want to support Wall Street and the big banks and hurt us all. But Democrats are a little bit more willing to spend on social support services, which a lot of us and our grandparents rely on. And they're willing to spend more to pick up the economy. Well, the Republicans are all about keeping that from happening. Why? Because employment rates will go down. So the unemployment rate will go up, wages will go down, median household incomes will go down, more people will end up on benefits, and then they can, and in a way you'll get hurt more because the government is not spending. That's the point. If you make the government spend less, minimum wage can't go up, median home incomes will go down, it's all going to be really bad, right? Unemployment will go up. And by the way, unemployment means you don't have a job, people that don't have jobs in the country. So if the government doesn't spend, that's what happens. And then the Republicans can come in and go, ha! You see, you got Joe Biden and he couldn't give you a job. He couldn't raise your wages. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. When in reality, Joe Biden wouldn't want to do that anyway. But in reality, if Joe Biden wanted to do anything ambitious, the Republicans would automatically stop it. And so the reason they stop it is so that they can come in and say, see, we care about you. You should put us in office because we'll spend for you. But in reality, they're not going to spend, and they're going to do exactly what they made Joe Biden do by being deficit hawks. And you're going to start hearing it in the media. And John Flynn of South Carolina says, quote, I expect you're going to hear a lot about this. You're going to start to hear a lot about this. Of course we will. Because you guys in the Republican Party don't actually care for people. All you care about is staying in power. So now, under Trump, they passed a $1.9 trillion stimulus. Not a stimulus, I would. They passed a $1.9 trillion tax bill. And that tax bill gave 83% of the wealth of the country, mine and your income, to the top 1% of the country. What do I mean by the top 1%? Think of Jeff Bezos on Amazon, from Amazon, right? He earns about $150 billion. Okay, well, actually, he's got over $193 billion. So let's just put it this way. The richest man in the world got $193 billion, and he got even richer, over $20 billion richer in the pandemic than everybody else, and he's getting to get all the tax cuts in the world. What are tax cuts? The tax cuts are money, like when you pay your taxes, you pay in, it's money that you don't have to pay in, and they give you back money. And he's giving that all to people like Jeff Bezos, who made Amazon, Mark Zuckerberg, who made Facebook, Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, Bill Gates, who made and founded Microsoft, basically any rich person, Warren Buffett, anybody and corporations who they get the tax cuts. Basically, they get the tax cuts. So they never cried about the debt under Trump. They gave Trump $132 billion extra in military funding, and they didn't say jack squat. They didn't say, oh my God, Mr. President, we have too much debt. You need to stop this. No one ever said anything about that. Ever. So now you have Republicans saying, oh my God, the debt. I can't speak fast. Deficit, debt. That's what's going to happen. But they weren't afraid to do it under Trump. But when it's a Democrat, that's what they do. They come up with this kind of crap so that the government and Joe Biden cannot spend on you. So if you've got a family member that's sick, maybe you got a kid with a disability, maybe Joe Biden wants to increase your Social Security benefits, maybe he wants to send you a stimulus check. The Republicans are going to say no because of debt. So remember, when Republicans say we care about you, we're worried about the debt, we're worried about the deficit, and all they're saying is we don't want Democrats to help you. We don't want Democrats to provide for the American people. It's not in our best interest. It's not in Wall Street's best interest. What's in our best interest is to stay in power and make Democrats pay the price for us not allowing them to help you. That's what they mean.